just wanted to share a little bit more about rest today, and I wanted to share something that's provoked my thinking around rest in the last few months, and a little visual of what I'm talking about. When I left the West Coast, a girlfriend gave me this lovely little gift as a housewarming present. We drove across country with this poor little thing in the back of our truck, probably not the wisest decision. And it was quickly apparent this thing would probably not make it. I almost threw it out when we got home, regretting that I hadn't protected it better, but it survived as a shell of itself. Obviously the roots were intact and a little bit of a trunk, but it had lost everything else. It was about this big or a little smaller when I got it. And I had compassion on the plant, decided I wouldn't throw it away and I'd see if I could bring it back to life. And so I set it in my kitchen window. And there it sat for quite a few months. And many times I thought I should just throw that thing out. It doesn't really stand much chance. But lo and behold, after resting for 4.5, 5 months, this sucker has regrown beautifully. And in the last month, I have been able to watch this thing, it seemed, grow every day. It stands as an incredible contrast when I think about rest and how we all need to eliminate a lot of stress on a daily basis. Most of us are living with more stress than we can imagine. We need the positive stress, eustress. I love to think of that, the example of being like the tension on the strings of a piano or the strings of a guitar, that a certain amount of tension and stress can make music beautiful and can make our lives beautiful as well. But too much stress and we tip over into that side where it defoliates us and it does not cause us to look beautiful to anybody. This little plant is my constant reminder of the opposite of what my life looked like in other seasons. I've detailed more about that in other videos, but we had a fire about 5 years ago and lost most everything we owned. Ended up choosing to live in an RV on our own land. We did travel with that RV for a while, but we lived off-grid for a significant portion of that time. You can go check out that video, but the fact is I had a beautiful vine that was gorgeous. It had locks bigger than mine, so to speak. It was my one little plant in the RV. I watched in that first year, particularly when we started traveling in our RV, that the stress of moving that RV over however many months that was, the 6 months that we traveled, it just, every other day I was pulling a leaf off that plant and it just slowly shrunk and deteriorated till it was a shell of itself, and I did throw that plant away. I remember in that season really struggling to see this visual metaphor of how the stress of living in an RV had been too much for this plant, and recognizing that, wow, we're making the best of circumstances. We've chosen to do this for various reasons, but this is probably, the route we're on is probably more stressful than I realize on a regular basis. And although we came through that season and used it for all it was worth to do a lot of things, you can check that video out and see the rewards we gained from that season of life. For us, settling into our home has brought so much more peace and rest than I even realized we needed. We have had a lot of seasons of change and seasons of growth, and that challenge has come at cost at times. But this is a new season for us, partly why I have the time and the energy to do these videos and share what I'm learning. I think my heart today is to just encourage you to really take stock about the stresses of your life and find ways to slow down and eliminate those stresses and to rest in the middle of those circumstances. The last video I did was about the power of rest, and I shared how one of the things we've been practicing as a family is taking one day a week as a rest day, as a Sabbath of sorts. Just be still or adventure and enjoy that day in new ways. Taking a rest day is an incredible way to decompress. And I just encourage you to find ways to de-stress, because I want to see you grow in such a way that people around you are watching the growth in your life day by day, and that you would become glorious like a fruitful plant and not defoliated or defoliaged, I don't know how you say that, and discarded. Part of thriving is learning to live the way you were made to. Part of thriving is using your gifts and talents in a way that brings you joy. That's that positive eustress. Part of thriving is recognizing that we need to rest just as much as we need to work. And part of thriving is eliminating any stresses that we can in our life. And that includes people that are stressful. It includes situations, noise, eliminating noise. I have a video on that. Just doing a technology detox can be an incredible way to bring rest in our lives. And so whatever you're facing today, find a way to eliminate the stresses that are destroying you. And if you can't do it today, then just begin to set your compass and your course so that you can do that in the future. If you found encouragement and wisdom in this video today, please subscribe and ring that notification bell. I can continue to fuel your journey, and you in turn can fuel my journey. Thank you so much.